Howdy there folks, today I'd like to find out if I can beat Pokemon X with only one Litwick. Let's get started. I choose Litwick and I name her Maya. The first battle is with Shauna, who chose Chespin. So obviously she goes down pretty easily because Maya knows Ember and can kill it. Now then, time to check the stats of Maya and oh fun, lucky me. Resetting to get a female Litwick so the name makes sense also allowed Maya to get Modest, which is the plus special attack minus attack nature, which is great for special attackers, which is great for Pokemon like Litwick. Now then, an actually major fight is Violin. I go in and then... Objection! Viola counters Maya's fire typing with her own water bug type, and I end up going back in and Maya dies once more to the water type because of Bubble, and it's constantly breaking out of its confusion the next turn. I return once more, and Surskit shows up, and at level 15, Maya is able to defeat it, with a combination of Confuse Ray and Astonish. Next up is her Villain. Maya starts off with a Confuse Ray and a Fire Spin to do extra damage, and thankfully, the villain only seems to use Infestation, so Maya is easily capable of taking out his remaining team members. After that, I end up going to the Pokemon Professor's lab, where... To continue the story, I kind of need to beat up Professor Sycamore's team, which consists of the Kanto starters. And, Maya thinks she has a chance since Bulbasaur dies so easily, but then Squirtle shows up and ruins her entire day. Thankfully, however, I don't actually need to win this battle, and I end up picking a Squirtle who I name Surfboard, so I have something to surf on later. I also have access to Super Training. This lets me raise Maya's EVs however I'd like to. Now then, Tierno ambushes me, and he uses a Water type, and uses Sword Stance 3 times. However, I have Maya use Will-O-Wisp and Fire Spin to get in a lot of damage and half its attack. Now, you'd imagine that he'd probably try to use a Water move. Nope, he tries to use Vice Grip, which doesn't affect Maya. I end up getting blocked by a Snorlax and have to go to Versailles to wake it up. Can't believe that I had to chase down this dude's dog. At least I get a fireworks show out of it. Now then, I guess it's time to take out the Snorlax, and it keeps using Tackle, which doesn't affect Affection. No way. Next up is a double battle against those two whose names I can't remember, alongside Calem. They seem to focus on Calem's team, allowing Maya to use Fire Spin and Ember a lot until she finally learns another move in Flame Blast. I also end up fighting a Team Flare Grunt and nearly losing to dark moves and too much flinching. Maya ends up actually getting poisoned, however, meaning she'll probably die here soon because I can't cure it now. I end up in another double battle with Calem where, Maya does die due to a Scracky with a dark move and poison. However, on a return, she dies once more, but Calem's team carries. Now, I feel like we haven't fought a gym in quite a while. Finally we get to go there. Normally, I talk about the gym leader beforehand, but I need to be able to actually reach him first. Objection! A Relicanth on a gym trainer makes reaching him a problem since it knows Yawn, and is 4 times strong against fire, which Maya doesn't get any good ghost moves until level 28 with Hex and level 49 with Shadow Ball. Now, I level Maya up to level 24. No, actually, there is a way around the trainer that I missed before. I don't need to fight that Relicanth. However, it doesn't matter, as Maya is still too weak to take out any of the other trainers. I'm just gonna level Maya up to 28 so she has a damaging ghost move that isn't physical. And now it's time for Grant, who starts with a Thunder Wave and then uses Aurora Beam and such, and his Tyrunt has Crunch, which flinches and then kills Maya. Next fight, Bite flinches again, which is happening a bit too often for such a low chance, and then Maya dies once again. Now, I don't think I'm able to get any Cherry Berries at all, because of how the berry trees work in X and Y, so I guess I'm just gonna have to level Maya up. Even at level 35, she does die because Bite keeps flinching every single attack. I swear, I can win this if Bite doesn't flinch every single turn. And, just as I predicted, the combo of Will-O-Wisp and Hex just destroys anything it hits, and since Paralysis and Flinch never go off, the Tyrunt goes down easily. Just like I said, it should not have taken this long. After that, I go and see as many Pokemon as I can in the Coastal Pokedex just so I can grab the Eviolite. Objection! After getting it, I end up getting stuck once more. Calem has an Absol and a Frogadier, both of which are good against Ghost Fire types, where in nearly every attempt I had, I just couldn't kill anything, despite being wildly overleveled. The main problem is that Maya's speed is abysmal. It's so low that even at level 53, everything still outspeeds her. Calem starts the fight with a Light Screen, so even though I can just wait it out, the low damage that I'd take waiting it would still mean that a Bite or a Water Pulse would kill Maya. I finally return at level 53. And guess what? Maya is finally able to win. but just barely. Next up is the Shalor City Gym. Oh, it's over. Yeah, due to that Calem fight, Maya became so strong that she just one-shot everything, and Oh, what's next? Oh, are you serious? Another fight with Kaylin before I can go into a gym, and it's basically identical? Fucking wonderful. Thankfully, the second attempt, Maya crits on a Hex and one-shots the Frogget here, so she only takes a single Water Pulse, meaning I can go to the Grass-type gym. And I mean, come on. How do you think this will go? An absolute sweep, since due to Kaylin, Maya tends to one-shot things with the Stab Flame Burst, versus Grass types? Yeah, it's easy. However, this is when I realized I made a fatal mistake. When leveling mindlessly, I usually tend to decline new moves until I realized that I just declined Shadow Ball. Up until now, I've had a Hex planning to take Shadow Ball, but I never got it. I wondered why, and it's just, I can't believe it. I accidentally declined it. I just need to get past Lumiose and Levair, and any rival battles that happen on the way there. Next up is Clement's gym. He uses electric types, and like all the other major fights except for Kaylin, it goes very easily. I just kind of end up spamming Fire Blast instead of Spire Spin against the Magneton, but oh well, it's not like it mattered much.
Objection!
And after that, I end up losing to yet another Kaylin fight, since he has a Greninja now. You know, which resists both Fire and Ghost, since it's a Water Dark type. Now I do actually have an idea. I have Maya forget Fire Spin and replace it with Trick Room. And oh boy, does this actually work. For some reason, the Meowstic will always use Psychic on turn 1 instead of Light Screen if I use Trick Room first, meaning that the next turn, Maya outspeeds it and kills it with a Hex. Next up would be Absol, which usually would outspeed, but Trick Room did its thing. It dies fast to a Fire Blast. Next up is the Greninja, who resists Ghost, but gets burned and then hexed to death. Honestly, I'm kind of glad I didn't go with Shadow Ball now. Now then, Valerie. Her gym's Fairy type, and it's easy. Maya resists most of the moves used, and I know I do a play-by-play, but it wasn't very interesting. I didn't even use Trick Room, and the Mr. Mime used Light Screen, so it took a bit longer than I expected. Now, Sylveon did take a decent bit of hits to take out, and Maya did take some decent damage, but she wasn't really threatened at all. Next up is Olympia, who wins due to Yawn and Light Screen. Man, I'm just starting to love those moves. I think it's time for a bit of strategizing. I give Maya a Citrus Berry and level her to 70. Then I use Hex on the Sigilyph and waste the Light Screen. Next up, I have her use Will-O-Wisp on Slowking and then Hex instantly kills it. And then she falls asleep and the Light Screen wears off. So she wakes up after 2 turns, thankfully, and kills it. At this point, I withdraw a flying type I named Brett and fly away, but not before nabbing the TM for Flamethrower.
Objection!
It's Lysander. He has a Gyarados and a Pyroar, which is great because of water types and normal types, which are immune to ghost moves.
Objection!
A Trick Room on his first one, then Flamethrower and a combination of Will-O-Wisp, which halves Gyarados' attack and makes Hex hurt more. Then Pyroar goes down to just 2 Flamethrowers. I'm actually glad I didn't take Shadow Ball now.
Objection!
And next up is another Lysander fight.
Objection!
At level 56, I have Maya use Trick Room like the last time. Then Will-O-Wisp on the Gyarados to tank an Aqua Tail, and then Hex, 1 Flamethrower to Pyroar, and then Trick Room once more, since being slow against Honchkrow will kill Maya. And then Flamethrower and kill, and 1 last Flamethrower against his final. Next up is that weird X thing. I'm supposed to catch it, and that sucks. I guess I have a Xerneas now, who I named Manfred. Now, I go in and intentionally lose so I can ditch this weird thing, and then go back in where I could win, except for the fact that Mega Gyarados is a Dark type, and Hex doesn't do much against it. I think I'm going to be forced to level up here. Now then, there are an absolute metric buttload of fails coming up, and I'm just not going to show them. I'm going to skip to the level where I actually win. Level 90, and honestly, it only felt like good luck. First up, Maya uses Trick Room, then Flamethrower Main Shao, killing it, then she crits on a Flamethrower against the Pyroar, killing it instantly. Honchkrow goes down in 1 hit, and then I have the decision to make. Since Pyroar went down in 1, Trick Room was still up, so she used Will-O-Wisp on Gyarados, and thankfully it hits, and Aqua Tail doesn't do much, but still enough to where it'd be a problem. Thankfully, she ends up killing as an Aqua Tail misses. It has genuinely been a long time since the last gym, so let's see how it'll go. Oh, it's Ice type. Well, I guess I get attacked by Kaylin once more, and oh boy does his team pack a little bit more of a punch now. His Greninja's Dark Pulse is very dangerous.
Objection!
Okay, so I actually have a plan here. I actually picked up the TM for Energy Ball, and I'm going to go and get some Heart Scales to teach Maya Shadow Ball. Let's see if this works. Maya uses these new moves effectively and ends up winning easily. Gonna be honest here, I kind of expected this fight to be the end of the run when I first started playing, just because of how badly Maya was getting annihilated. It's time for the Elite Four now. First up is Malva, who goes down surprisingly easily. Maya flamethrowers the Pyroar to death, and it even uses its own fire move against her, which doesn't work because Flash Fire. Maya even had her special attack lowered in this fight. Next up is the Torkoal, who despite being slower, I have Maya use Trick Room against, in preparation for Lampent. She outspeeds the Lampent and one-shots it with Shadow Ball, then kills the Talon Flame since its Brave Bird doesn't do much. Next up is Wickstrom, the Steel-type Elite Four member. His team is a pushover. It's not really worth mentioning. You know, except Aegislash since Ghost. Its Shadow Claw actually barely managed to not kill Maya, so she annihilated it with a Shadow Ball. Next up is Drasna, who is a bit scarier due to her Altaria, who can put Maya to sleep. But overall, she still goes down to Trick Room doing its wonderful thing. Now then, for the one I think will be the most dangerous or even run-ending. Seabold, the Water Trainer.
Objection!
And oh boy, were my fears completely wrong. Holy crap, that was literally just spam Energy Ball. Trick Room did wonders as Gyarados' Dragon Dance did less than nothing. It was actively impeding it. It died to 2 Shadow Balls. And then the Starmie did a ton, but Malva was actually harder than this. Okay, let's do this. Champion Diantha. First up is Hawlucha. It tried the Swords Dance, but Maya Trick Roomed first and then Flamethrowered. Next up is Tyrantrum, a Rock Dragon type, so I go with Shadow Ball since it's Stab and not resisted. After that is Gourgeist, which goes down to a single Flamethrower. Goodra actually comes out next, takes a Shadow Ball, and then crits on a Muddy Water. I actually need to use Trick Room once more since it's over, but thankfully, Muddy Water misses and Goodra goes down to a second Shadow Ball. Aurorus is out next, and he almost dies to a Flamethrower, but it gets off a Light Screen. Diantha then heals it, and then Light Screen does its thing of making this fight take forever until a few more full restores, and a few more turns later, Light Screen wears off. Mega Gardevoir is out last, and it dies to a single Shadow Ball, meaning I just beat Pokemon X with only 1 Litwick. Honestly, I didn't expect to win this. The early game was genuinely tough, and now then, I also have a Discord server linked down in the description that you should check out. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day. Oh no, why was any of this necessary? Oh, because it proves my client is not guilty. Right. This is a trial for Maya Fey. I find the defendant